Hello, my YouTube, no. Hello, my fellow YouTubers and fellow ESO lovers and fanatics. Welcome to another video. Here we are. This is not my house. This is Ing's house. Now, the reason why I'm here is because I need to borrow his skeletons. I have yet to get a home yet. Anyway, so the reason I'm doing this video is because some of you have asked about the rotation for the Magicka Templar and how I do it. And basically what I wanted to do this anyways, because I wanted to provide a little bit of an update on my Templar. I changed a few things around, nothing too drastic. The other thing that I did is, in order, hopefully this should show the entire screen. You should be able to see the entire the full screen. I don't have it as my ultra wide, so I brought that down. So let's go over some of the things that I did change. The video is going to be fairly quick, nothing too drastic. Now, this Magicka Templar, this is my main tune. This is the tune that I usually take into trials. It's the one that I can do the most DPS on. It's the tune that I started off ESO with in North America. So anyways, so let's start with the, well, I have it on as my back bar, but anyways, you get the point. Front bar, back bar. This is where my dual wield. Actually, you know what, before we do that, I'm using the Thief Mundastone. All attribute points are in Magicka. We'll just quickly do a summary of the build here. Maximum Magicka is 45k, maximum health 17, stamina. Sorry, not stamina. Magicka recovers 812. Don't worry about that. Spell damage is 22-23, and spell resistance is 15k. Physical resistance 9k. Okay, now. The build, nothing has changed from the build, to be honest. It's still 5-piece burning spell weave, heavy Grothar helm, and medium Grothar shoulder. All divines, all Magicka enchants, or all max Magicka enchants. For jewelry, I'm wearing Moondancer jewelry. For my staff, for my back bar, Infernal staff, precise, because I don't have sharpen, so precise it is. And for the swords, for dual wield, I'm using the willpower swords. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now let's go to the skills. Now, what I did change is usually this is what it looks like. Usually, from the front bar, my dual wield bar. Usually, what I have is Channel Focus, Puncturing Sweep, Hardness Magicka, Radiant Oppression, aka Jesus Beam, Inner Light, and the ultimate is Shooting Star. So usually that'd be my setup. But what I have done, and I know some of you have probably thinking, well, why haven't you done this earlier? But anyways, I just started experimenting and trying things out. So what I did change is I changed the purifying light. Instead of Channel Focus, this one right here, I'm putting purifying light in here, and I like that little extra DPS that you get from it. So that's kind of how my bars are looking right now. Purifying light instead of Channel Focus. On my back bar, or my staff bar, nothing much has changed. You know, the Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, Reflective Light, Rearming Trap, Inner Light, and Fiery Rage. Now, what I have been doing though is Inner Light. Technically, you don't need the Inner Light in the back bar. The purpose of the Inner Light is just to give you a little extra Magicka. But now that Zoss has fixed the bug with Inner Light, where the reason why you'd had to slot it on both bars is because when you transferred over to the front bar or to the damaging bar, and if you had it in the back, it wouldn't transfer over. So now you can have it on your dual wield bar, and it will work properly. So what I have been doing is Inner Light. I have been putting a Ritual of Retribution in here instead of the Inner Light. Yeah, and that seems to be working for me. Now, with that said, when I go into VMA, this is another little tweak that I have done. So this setup right here, that before I proceed to the VMA, this setup right here that you see with all these skills laid out, this is the skill layout that I would use on trials. Now for VMA, I'm still flirting around with this idea of purifying light instead of channel focus. But although I have to admit, channel focus is very nice because it gives you a little bit of resistance, a little bit of a little tankier, if you will, to take some of those damages from all the waves of mobs in VMA. However, what I do change in my back bar, instead of rearming trap, because we only have as a Magicka toon, stamina is very limited. You don't really have that much stamina to begin with. So what I have done, instead of rearming trap, I've been putting Ritual Retribution. So Ritual Retribution is extremely good. It slows down the opponents as well. Gives you a little bit of heal, and it does a little bit of damage as well. And then again, in the front bar or the dual wheel bar, what I have been fooling around with is channel focus, getting rid of the channel focus, and putting inner light, which is right here. So, and I mean, if I really feel like going aggressive, I will do this, because the purifying light, you can put it on the boss or any of the ads that you want to kill, and it works extremely well. So, you know, purifying light is a very good single target DPS gain. So, you know, if you want to put it on the bosses, that's primarily what I would focus on, is putting it on the bosses. So with that said, here, let me put the rotation. One of you guys asked for the rotation. And for the rotation, if we stick to this bar setup, the rotation's really not that bad. I'll describe it first. So the idea of the Magicka Templar, just like most of the toons in ESO, is that you want to put your dots down first. So when I say dots, my dots are the following: Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, well, Reflective Light is technically a dot, but you can't put it until they spawn, and Rearming Trap, right? So you want to place those down. Purifying Light is also a dot, but you would put that after your Reflective Light. So bottom line is, put your dots down, and the only dots you can put first before the enemy spawns, and I'll show you on the skeleton back in the background there, Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, and Rearming Trap. Then of course would be Reflective Light, Purifying Light, and Sweep. Okay, so the rotation would look something like this. This is the 6 million. Let's go to this one. So let's say, so this is the boss we're fighting, right? So it'd be that, sweep, and for some reason it keeps getting hung up. And it'd be like that. So let me walk, and as you can see, all the buffs that are being tracked. All right, let me walk you through the rotation. So it would be, you can put Bear Trap, Blockade of Fire. Oh, sorry. Let me walk you through this. Just wait for all of this to run off. Okay, so what you want to do is basically you want to start off with Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, Reflective Light. Then you can put Rearming Trap. You swap over. And then you put in Purifying Light, Sweep. You're probably, if you're putting the trap down, you're probably gonna get only 2 puncturing sweeps, and I'll show you why you're probably gonna do that. It's because of the dots. The dots are only there for look, 1, 2, swap out, and off you go. See, Blockade is about to run out. Swap. So this is pretty much what your rotation is gonna look like. So it'd be very similar to that. Now, so the idea here is, if you keep an eye, okay, next time I do this, keep an eye on the buff tracker right here. What you want to do is your Blockade of Fire. You always want to keep your Blockade of Fire up. That's the main key here. Your blockade it's a wicked dot. So Blockade of Fire and your Blazing Spear. Your Rearming Trap, you don't you kind of want to put your rearming trap every second rotation. So sorry, I do it too quick that I can't even say the stuff that I'm doing. So I'll try, but it's easier. Okay, Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, and then see, that's when I lose it. So right, so look at the Blockade of Fire. It's running out. Put it down. And then the key here is look at your Blockade of Fire. Once your Blockade of Fire is about to run out, wrong button. And then there you go. So that's kind of the, now the other thing that's going to help you here is to keep all your dots running and to keep, and you know, to maximize the amount of DPS that you can get is animation cancellation. So so the idea here is that you put all your dots down, but for example, look, I put Blockade of Fire, animate, cancel that, spear, cancel that, cancel that, cancel that, and then away you go. So it's one of those things that you gotta get a feel for. Cancel that. Oh, I didn't cancel that. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So Blockade of Fire, Blazing Spear, Inner Light, not Inner Light, sorry, I didn't mean to say Inner Light, Reflective Light is what I meant to say. You put your rearming trap, Purifying Light, and then you sweep. So that's pretty much it. But the key here is that you want to keep your buff, and that's why I have these buff trackers right here on the side. Now once you get good at your rotation, you won't even need to look at the buff tracker anymore. You'll know, like, the key for me is the Blockade of Fire. Once the Blockade of Fire is about to run out, this is the one that I focus all my rotation on, the Blockade of Fire. Once it runs out, I make sure I keep it going. And away you go, it's about to run out. Right? And I'm out of magic. But yeah, but you get the idea of what it takes to get the rotation down. So a good rotation, like I said, this is and this is without any magicka from any healers or any synergies to activate and so on. This is just by myself here. So yeah, so you see, so as you can see, what I use for timing is the Blockade of Fire. Everything revolves around the Blockade of Fire. That's the way I do it. Maybe some people do it in a different manner. But that's pretty much the rotation that I use. I hope that helps you. And if you have, you know, another way or a trick that you seem to do it and you want to share with me, by all means, I'd love to hear it. Just because I do it one way doesn't necessarily mean that it's the only way to do it. So yeah, hope the video is useful. I'm sorry for making it too long. I try and keep the videos as short as possible, but I am a blabbermouth. I talk a lot. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.